always fun to walk out from behind there and see how many people actually got up to come talk to us this morning. We are starting about 2 minutes later than normal. I was down here doing my floor exercises and ribbon dancing. It took me a couple extra minutes to get out of my leotard. But I'm here, stressful, a little sweaty, but we're gonna have a good time. So I'm gonna talk to you about 4 things in about 14 and a half minutes. 14 minutes and 39 seconds to be exact. And the reason why that I called that out is because there's a countdown timer right here, and there's an astronaut behind me. And apparently the astronauts take the countdown timer thing a little more seriously than your average folks, so we're gonna get done on time. One shout out for Mike already. You guys are gonna love him. So, welcome. The other thing is this room's tough for me for a guy with ADD, because I gotta look over here, talk to you, look over here, talk to you, make sure I'm talking to everybody. I'll do my best, bear with me if I'm not perfect. Welcome to Houston. Morning, everybody. How do you guys like this city? It's new for us, great town, right? Yeah, anytime we can come hang out in Mr. Willick's backyard, he's always gracious, it's always a good time. I think he's bringing 400 plus members to the show, so thank you for that, Dennis, and thank you for coming to spend a little bit of time with us. It's gonna be a great couple days. We wanna look forward and talk about quite a few things, and we're gonna talk about space, and we're gonna talk about all kinds of cool stuff, but I think it's always important that we take a look at last year, right? So we're sitting here very early in the year. 2019 was an interesting year, right? A lot of talk about trade, a lot of interesting things going on about the economy, a little bit of rumblings around trade wars, and I gotta be honest with you, all that absolutely happened. It did, it absolutely happened, but in the end, you had a fantastic year, we had a fantastic year together. When we look at what we accomplished, in a pretty stagnant market in appliances, we were up about 5% as a group, so congratulations for that. You know, in a business in CE that's always a roller coaster, we were up double digits. In a business that was down, almost double digits. So, 20 percentage point swing in a highly competitive category. And then, of course, everyone here in the bedding and furniture business know that it's been a pretty interesting year. It continues to be interesting year on top of interesting year, and I think 2020 will be interesting as well. And in a down market, we finished almost up. Which is always our plan, is to beat market. So congratulations to you guys. We had a great year. So give yourself just a round of applause. You had a fantastic year. Hey, Jordan. Hey, buddy. So 2020, right? Sitting with a guy, incredibly brilliant economist yesterday, talking about 2020. And what do we think is going to happen? You guys all know you're in retail, tough business. Election years cause an extra bit of complication, extra layer of complication to the business that we don't really need, don't really want, but it's going to be there, right? But the good news is we're looking at what is perhaps the strongest economy ever in the history of our economy. And I know you get up here and say, like, well, how can that be true? But it is true. Unemployment is at historic lows. I know that's a double-edged sword for us, right? It's great because it means the economy's healthy. It's painful for some of us because that means we're paying more for labor. But the fact of the matter is that we're sitting on probably the best economy in a long time. And so as we look at that, like, what does that mean for us? Well, I want to talk about what you did from 19 turning into 2020. We started tracking some time ago. We always tracked members that close, members that open, members that join the group, members that leave the group. And this group in here last year opened almost 300 new locations. So give yourself a round of applause. That's pretty amazing. Now, I want to be very clear. That is not new dealers coming into the network with new stores. We did a bunch of that. That 300 I just told you are new stores that you've opened. Very, very different. It's unbelievable. So all it means to me, and what it should mean to you, is that you are thriving, and the independent retailer is thriving. We've been talking about Sears for years. It's over. We're going to stop talking about Sears. You guys have already capitalized on that opportunity. We're going to talk about different opportunities as we grow. So as we look at 2020, whenever you're growing like this, we have a saying inside Winston that you have to invest well ahead of when you expect the return. And this is a year to invest in new categories that are going to drive your growth. Of course, absolutely, we will be hyper-focused on the core categories of appliance, electronics, furniture, and bedding for you, but I want you to just entertain me for a couple minutes about a couple extra categories. And the first is connected home. Why? I don't know. 490 billion reasons why? billion, 490 billion. That's not my number. That's the number that's been vetted by several folks, including Entrepreneur, Business, Inc., Newsweek. It is a massive, massive transformer. Yeah, see that? Money rolling. That's going to roll for the whole meeting, because that's your opportunity to get your cash and get your stacks. So we've been incredibly diligent about building that with our partnerships, and a lot of that was built on our long-standing partnership with Google on the hardware side. We have a fantastic relationship on the software side, obviously, but on the hardware side is one of the cornerstones, and AT&T. AT&T was really the last conduit that we put into place between our members and our vendors and our partners and Google to build this. And so who here has done anything with AT&T? There's 225 of you, so I know someone in here has, right? And so through those 225 members, and the training that we've done here with AT&T Champions, there was 100 folks trained at the last show, 100 folks trained at this meeting. That training, what does that mean? I mean, how hard is it to sell AT? It's not hard, but what we're teaching them is what is important to you, which is transitioning from selling an appliance to mobile. Talking to a customer in a different way about connected home, qualifying differently. How do you get internet? How do you get information? Because that's what's gonna matter. And so all we have done in this short period of time is kicked out about $750,000 in returns to those people that have signed up for AT&T. Who would like it? Yeah, I know, it's pretty awesome, right? So if you haven't done it, get on board, get engaged, and let's do it. And so obviously AT&T is a cornerstone of that. The other cornerstone is Google. And we've had a Google hardware program, I just told you, for several years, but what we just got, which I think is incredibly important, because there is a pain point around Google, and it's margin, let's just be honest, right? Margin can be a pain point in hardware. But what I want you to know is you now have the ability, we have a Prime retail program. The team has negotiated heavily to get you a program that will give you, wait for this, 30 points. When you look at the program and you look at the cashbacks here, you can make 30 points on nesting Google hardware. So in some cases, probably better margins than CE on a whole, right? So we need you guys to get engaged. This is the future of our business. We are in a race, a big race. I believe, and the team believes, that connected home is not gonna be sold at big box. Cletus from Lumber is not gonna walk you through your connected home, right? But you know who will? Best Buy. And they'll do it well. They can't do it as good as us, but they'll do it well. And we are in a race for that 490 billion, so I need you guys to engage. It is the future of retail. Okay, let me stop there for a second. That's great, Tom. You got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. How are we gonna execute and how are we gonna take care of a customer? Great questions, fantastic questions. So we're gonna help you merchandise in store. We've partnered with a company called Gory. I think you'll find them to be fantastic to help you merchandise in the store. We've also partnered with our own partners in RWS to make a seamless execution at retail through flash tags. And I know you know what flash tags is because Jandenko and Ginny talked about it last time, but let me just give you a refresher. It's just the easiest way in the world to run your retail execution. Electronic price tags, you change your mind on price, somebody else changes their mind, it automatically changes for you. And oh yeah, by the way, if you're connected, it'll show your website that that product is in display in your store. We've done several manpower hour tests about how much time it takes to write a tag and put it on your floor versus change it with the kind of ridiculous IR promo maps we're seeing. If you aren't engaged in electronic price tags and flash tags from an execution standpoint, you're just quite simply not optimizing your opportunity at retail. So I'd ask you to go see that. And I would tell you, by the way, that it's flash tags is free with the Level 4 website. And so that's great. So the last piece of this is pretty painful, is the piece. Who in this room has gotten a call from your significant other or your child and said, hey, the World Wide Web's not working at home? When I said, make my coffee, the coffee maker didn't come on. So the last toughest piece is the service piece, right? You don't want to deal with that. We don't want to have to deal with that. So we found a way, Derek Matala, who heads up our Connected Home division, has found a way for you to be able to offer a Connected Home support program that allows you to offer your customers 3 years of tech support and a margin enhancement to you. And it doesn't matter. From the router to the sprinkler system that's online, these folks are built to help you service that network and take those rocks off your wagon. Not only is it a margin opportunity for you, but it's an incredible way to delight your customers. So go see Derek, talk to him about the tech support. So we feel like we have an end-to-end solution for you to get in the race We have the products, no shortage. We have the cornerstone pieces to make money, to help you make more money, not just at the sale, but ongoing. Service that customer, delight that customer. And oh yeah, by the way, do you know how often people come in, the ultimate driver? If I talk to you guys, when I talk to you guys, you tell me the truth. If we're one-on-one, you tell me you worry about footprints. You're world class at execution. You worry about footprints, don't you? Let's be honest. How do I get people in my door? You know what the return rate, door click is on connected home, on Nest products, on mobility, on AT&T and on phones? It's about 10 times what you currently have. So if you want a customer every 7 years, keep doing what you're doing. It's fine, you guys are doing great. You want a customer every 17 weeks? Come talk to us. We'll help you. Fair? So I know that sounded like a complete laundry list, right? Oh my God, Google, tech support, flash tags. The thing is we'll do it for you. Just engage the team, okay? So I spent some time. That was one. That was a long one, but it's a big one. There's not many things that are gonna give you $490 billion opportunity, so let's go get it. The second big opportunity, and this one's a little more mature, but it's a fantastic opportunity, is outdoor. It's kind of a funny story. I got to speed up to get the astronaut out here, but this was a really funny story. I walked by John Lang's office about 3 years ago, and I said, "Hey, John, what are you doing?" He said, "Nothing." I'm like, "I knew it." You know, and no, and I said, "Do you have a grill?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What kind?" He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Good, you'll run our outdoor division." And that's the truth, by the way. I do that every once in a while, just keep people on their toes. But the fact of the matter is 3 years ago we had about 10 vendors, and we had about 100 dealers carrying outdoor. It's the fastest growing category in our business, and includes a bunch of our fastest growing brands, but I think the business has grown 55% year over year for us right now. We're looking at we've added 27 more vendors to that, and we currently have about 600 of you carrying outdoor. It's incredibly profitable. It's the same driver of footprints. When you have Traeger in your store and customers are coming back to get pellets every 30 days because they're part of this cult now, they don't even realize it. You know, they're buying sauces and rubs all at high margin. You guys have to dip your feet in this category. You must. It's really, really critical that you diversify your portfolio, and we believe in it so much that not only are we gonna ask you, we're gonna force you. We're gonna have like 2 days of intense outdoor training, and we were gonna do it outdoor, but it's gonna rain, so we're gonna do it indoor, so we're gonna have 2 days of indoor training. So we're gonna have breweries and beer and all kinds of great stuff for you guys. I might go dead? No, I got it, no. So we're gonna have a mechanical pig, free beer, and legal waivers. And so if you're willing to do all three of those, the legal waiver was Sean's idea, but we got it. And there's a lot of nervous people. The rumor is we're gonna have a mechanical pig, beer, legal waiver, and monkeys, but I don't know, I'll keep that secret for later. Last two things, digital. I know I keep talking about it. And I know you guys are like, oh my God, here comes the digital part of the presentation. Fact of the matter is that I talked to you earlier about 300 new store openings. Full transparency, we lost 130 dealers that closed their door. 130 dealers in communities all across the country that employed a bunch of people shut their doors. You wanna see my cheese slide off my cracker, tell me a dealer's closed their door. But it happens, it's inevitable. So we started digging into why that happens, and here's what we learned. 70% of those folks that closed didn't have a website. You're like, well, duh, that makes sense. But the scary thing is there are a bunch of people that still don't have them. You've gotta get in the game. 70% did not have a website. More importantly, we had some websites, they weren't great. It was a picture of some folks standing outside a building from 1972 because that's what they told them made them feel homey. That doesn't work. 96% of the folks that went out weren't engaged in advanced digital, meaning they weren't doing digital marketing, they weren't doing social. We talk about it so much because we know it matters. It will change your business. It's transparent, we can prove it, and we will show you. So I'm not gonna get up here and go nuts about it. I will tell you we have an incredible offer for you. You have to engage in Webfronts. You have to engage in Webfronts review. That's what's gonna separate you in your market, right? How much do I spend? Oh my God, that's a great question. For my market, how much do I spend? Well, if you want to spend our reviews, we have a nice little program for you called Boost Budget. We'll talk to you about your business, talk to you about how much you think you can spend, how much you need to spend, how many conversions do you want, and we'll walk you through it. it's fair and equitable. It's all transparent. The great thing about digital is it's radically different than any other technology, and it's 100% transparent in whether it works or not. And you should demand that transparency from us and from others. And we'll share that with you. So if you come and sign up for level 4 web fronts, we're going to give you digital rewards. You're going to get $4,500 in the next 6 months, and you're also going to get a free pair of AirPods. Why is that important? Because then you can walk around and ignore everybody like everybody else does. It's liberating. I don't even turn mine on. I just walk around with them in with people talking to me. Like, can't hear you. iPodding right now. So last one. Connect. So we got it, right? We got connected home, we got outdoor, we got digital, and then we got connect. And the last piece is connect with us, right? You're constantly hearing me implore you to connect with us. Connect with our partners, connect with each other. We have world-class vendors here and world-class service providers. The folks from Centricity and our partners at Wells and Synchrony, you know they're here to help you drive your margin and drive your business just as much as our partners at AT&T or Whirlpool or GE or Electrolux or anywhere else. But most importantly, we're here to work for you and connect. So we're going to try something a little neat. You guys all know I always give you my number. We're going to try something just a little bit different. So this is an opportunity, if you guys will, and I don't want you guys can do this. We'll send this out to you. You don't have to do it right this second. But if you'll text the word NMG to 31996, that's going to opt you in. This is like a group chat with me with 5,000 of my closest friends. Really fun. I'll accidentally send you something inappropriate in the middle of the night one night, but we'll talk about that later. But what it allows you to do is it allows you to one-on-one talk back to me. So when you click in and you register, I might send you something saying, hey, don't forget to sign up. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not going to hit you a bunch of times. I'm not going to send you pictures of my dog. I might send you pictures of my food. But if you text me back, it's just a one-on-one conversation that you can have with me. Like, hey, I'm struggling here. Or, hey, I haven't seen my rep in a while. Or, hey, what do you think about this? And you and I can have a conversation one-on-one. Will you guys commit to do that for me? Great. All right. So that's it. Connected home, outdoor, digital, and us. You guys want to talk to an astronaut? Okay. Yeah, me too. He's quite different than I thought. He's really tall, which aggravates me because I thought I could have been an astronaut, and that was one of the key things I had was being only 5'6". But he's awesome. And so I'm going to roll a quick video, and he's going to come out and do a presentation for you, and then I'll come back and talk to you for just 1 second, okay? Thank you guys so much. I officially received a handoff from an astronaut, so makes me kind of like an astronaut in my mind. So we know you have a big day in front of you. We got a couple minutes. So the other thing I found out about astronaut trading is you take a bunch of psychological evaluations when you decide why you want to do it. And so interesting, another little parallel. When I took this job, they gave me a psychological evaluation. I've had, which I expected. The 3 that came after that in the last 2 years, I did not expect. I don't know why we're doing that. But I'll talk to Robert and Les about that later. But what they wanted to know was what were my fears and what were my strengths and the traditional fears that everyone has, public speaking. Thank God I don't have that because I have to do a lot of that. But actually my biggest fear that they found out was that I have an abject fear of not doing something meaningful. And when I took the job, I was like, oh my God, what a meaningful job. And I was afraid that when my time here was done, or that when my time on Earth was done, that I would not have done something meaningful. And so I did a little bit of research on that with the guy that we were working with, and it turns out if you're a high profile or a high performer, you have an abject fear of not doing something meaningful. It's just true. And there's a bunch of high performers in this room. So be honest with me for a second. Just be transparent. Raise your hand if you've ever had a fear that you're not going to do something meaningful in life. Right? Okay. I'm going to give you a gift. You get to check that box today. Because of your efforts, you know we're involved with No Child Hungry. You know we have been for a long time. I can't think of anything more meaningful than handing food to a starving child. And so check that box because today you packed some meals. You've packed meals over the last 2 years. And what you've done is nothing short of remarkable. And so I'd like to thank you for your generosity and your commitment to serve others and let you know you can check that meaningful box Because last year, the end of last year, from November 4th to November 9th, we did our Week of Giving. We challenged you on stage to step up and do give back in your community. And a bunch of you did, about 30 folks, all the way from Maui to North Carolina. And when we completed that effort, you completed that effort, and we did it together, we officially passed 1 million meals since we started just less than 2 short years ago. 1 million meals delivered to the hands of hungry children locally, and what Mike was talking about, globally. We have an obligation. You're fulfilling that obligation. I would just challenge you to continue here and as we walk through this journey together. So we have a minute to just watch a video. We have a little clip of some of those last locals, and then once you're done, go have a great day. Call me, text me, hunt me down. Fair? Thank you guys so much.